Hi, my name is Carl Lowenthal. I do a routine called double talk. Double talk is when you sprinkle normal words with gibberish words and you're really not saying anything. This is a lost art. There really aren't too many people that still do this anymore. I've been doing it my entire life, well, ever since I'm 12 or 13 years old. I've had a lot of fun with it. I've done it to many people from all walks of life, and no one ever seems to catch on. I was down in New Orleans during Jazz Festival in 1992, and a friend of mine is doing the filming. The guy that I'm doing it to is a regular down there. He comes every year for Jazz Fest. I didn't know who he was. I just pulled him over. We were at some kind of a function, and I told him that I had a local TV show back on Long Island, and that I'd like to ask him a few questions. And as you see, I'm really not saying anything, but just to watch his expressions is very comical. I discussed the food down there, the musicians, and a few other subjects. I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed making it.
There's a gentleman that waited all morning from Florida, came up. He knows Alan Goldberg.
There's a man from Minnesota.
He told us about Alan changing his name.
What's your first name again?
Smokey.
Smokey.
Everybody knows me as Smokey.
Can you tell us 2 words? This particular program is going on Long Island Cable. It's going to air May the 16th. Bob's son does a jazz interview, and we wanted to know the feelings from out-of-town people, especially Midwesterners. I know you're living in Florida. If you had the inkling to have a future plate invited on a plane, can there be a plate of all these musicians under one roof? Or is there a part that you personally have a part at the Jazz Festival?
Repeat that. What do you have about on a plane, you say?
You came here.
We drove here.
Right. You drove or you came by car?
We drove we came for the Jazz Festival.
Right.
And we spend most of our time in the Economy Hall for the Dixieland Jazz.
Bob, I want you to hold the camera, because... What's your first name again?
Smokey.
It's a Smokey.
I've been watching Smokey for the past 5 years. He always sits in the economy tent, which is where the Dixieland musicians, either he sits behind me or in front of me. And I always have listened to him. The man knows wherever anyone's playing. He's an astute jazz aficionado. And I just want to get the feeling, if there's a play that people come under one roof, the camaraderie of the musicians, is there a tendency that a lot of the black musicians who play or accent a hi-hat on 2 and 4, can they attend the same time no matter how many times if they're playing different songs?
I think the black and white intermingle, and they know the songs and they play their thing, and it doesn't matter the color of the skin or where you're from. You can be from all parts of the country, and music is one language.
When you sit and watch these bands, and there's a white band or a black band, and you start stomping your feet, how many chords that there's a page from the history of this city, there's a certain kind of a charisma that play that's inside the body. Can you be able to explain that there's a certain kind of an ambiance that people drive when they come here, or if they circumvent, come by bus tours? Is there one place, or do you have to do it at the same time?
One place to be? I mean, there's no one place.
Smokey. Simple question. Just
anytime they're playing jazz, that's a place to be. Meridian Hotel with Jacques Cote, Mahogany Hall with whoever's there.
Well, do you think it was right that these Japanese guys should come into this thing in New Orleans? The whole
Japanese people are lovers of jazz. Down in Clearwater, Florida, they have purchased what used to be the Bellevue Biltmore Hotel, and it is now the Bellevue Mido Hotel.
The red light's on, right, Bob?
The Japanese now own the hotel. That the Suncoast Dixieland Jazz Society's Jazz Classic, the first weekend in June, will be held in their hotel.
And they own the whole town of Clearwater, you said? The Japanese bought up Clearwater?
The Japanese own this one hotel, the old Bellevue.
How many years have you been coming down to Jazz Fest?
Since about 1983, that's about 9 years.
Of all the entertainers that you've seen, is there one part that sticks a page when they ever paid for modern jazz, like the Marcellus Brothers? Do you personally quote Dixieland Port, or is there a summit that all the entertainers have recorded when they're entertaining in front of people? When they're entertaining, can you turn to the audience and relate to every plot as soon as that toe tapping kind of Dixieland? Is there a climate that they're able to delve with the audience, like Wendell Brunius or Al Hurd or Pete Fountain? Can all of them create and grasp, wanting that the audience claps, or do you personally sort that when you sit down with your wife?
The musicians actually, like Wendell Brunius.
An English major in Michigan State. Yeah.
Wendell is the young breed, and he's filling in. He does it very well. Preservation Hall is a place to go for your old-time jazz. And
where do you go when
that wasn't the question, though, Smokey. I wish you would stick to the question. Would you respond to that question, please?
Look, can we just change the subject? I wanted to. He's been coming here since 1983. He's an out-of-towner. He's from the Midwest. I just wanted his opinion on the food. This is a town that's famous for jazz. We just experienced the jazz funeral. Now we want to know an out-of-towner's opinion on the cuisine of this city.
Why don't you ask
Now,
him?
when I say cuisine, I mean the food, of course.
The food is whatever you like. I'm an old-timer that I like to know what I'm getting, so I like the jambalaya. Of course, yesterday I had alligator pie.
Jeez.
So it's all a matter of what you like. I like alligator, I like jambalaya, red beans and rice.
How about the rattlesnake? Did you have any of this?
No rattlesnake, no. I stick to something like, we have alligators in Florida, so I'll go for the alligator pie.
It's like a hometown dish, is that it?
A lot of people say, Smokey, that the food at the Jazz Fest is not fit for pigs. Now, I personally think that it is. I don't know, is your opinion?
You've got to try it. I think it's great.
Okay,
it's all a matter of taste.
Well, either it is or it isn't.
So how would you wrap up your Jazz Fest week? Do you really look forward to come here on vacation, or is this just a simple tribulation that people have to encumber when they take on air flight time with travel agents? Can they walk it?
I think anyone can come in and you talk to a musician. You find out where the gigs are being played, and that's the key to it. You get a couple key musicians that you know and ask them where the gigs are, and you'll get plenty of Dixieland if you know where to go.
Wow.
I'm going to wrap this up. If any of you on cable TV back in Long Island really want to grasp the pulse of New Orleans, here's a person who's living in Florida now, but he's very instrumental in the organization of a group therapy when people want from temples all over the country. Here's a man firsthand, no matter how many clones, who disclaims when he flies here, every single plate, including a jazz funeral. Here's a Mabbit that's direct play with him and his family.
He's not a Mabbit. He doesn't look like a Mabbit.
He always tries to, just to make a joke out of this thing. Smokey, you want to wrap it up and just say some final...
Couple of final things. Stop in where you can find out where things are going on. Stop in at the Palm Court down on Decatur Street. They'll know where things are going on. In fact, they have fine jazz.